These are all the guys who got traded on the deadline. Okay, just on the deadline. So this is not including McCaffrey or anyone before. So what pops out to me, Max, the biggest one is Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb is the most talented player. He's the guy who went for the most compensation out of all these guys. And I think it's warranted to talk about him first, okay?
Well,
So
before, I just want to ask, who's the most surprising name you saw on that list? I can't
I
believe Calvin Ridley got fucking moved. I can't believe that guy was even talking. We're going to talk about him at some point.
yeah, most definitely. I would say probably Bradley Chubb. I mean, I was pretty shocked. I thought since the Broncos won in London, they were kind of not going to fire sell anymore, but they went through with it. They got a first round pick out of Bradley Chubb, and to me that's the most shocking. And these are the trade details. So the Broncos receive a 2023 first round pick who was originally from San Francisco, a fourth round pick in 2024, and running back Chase Edmonds. And the Dolphins receive a fifth round pick in 2025 and Bradley Chubb, of course.
That's
Was
all
this
Trey
too
Lance stuff.
much?
That's Trey Lance stuff. Just so you guys know, the Dolphins pick, that's Frisco's pick. Is it too much, Juan? This is a Miami team that we know can't really get pressure rushing for. All the pressure they get is from creative blitzes. They have a guy in Jalen Phillips who you like, who I think is promising. We're still kind of waiting to see if he's going to take the next step to being elite. But if you're a team like Miami Dolphins who went all in for Tyreek Hill and now you're going in, this is a good move. I don't think Bradley Chubb's a game changer. I think he's going to help out. He's not I don't think he's Von Miller from last year because I don't think he's on that echelon of guy. I think Von Miller's better than him last year than Bradley Chubb is this year. That's just my opinion on Bradley Chubb. I think he's talented, but he hasn't really harnessed it into being elite. He's been good. There's no doubt about that one, but you're a guy who watches AFC West more than I do. You're our resident AFC West expert. Give me your take on Bradley Chubb.
Look, I'm not the hugest fan of Bradley Chubb. I'm really not. But he is a guy that's worth to throw some money at or throw some compensation at if he's not going to be your number one guy. And I don't think they're getting him to for him to play as that number one alpha. I think Jalen Phillips is legitly an alpha for them. So I like the move in that aspect. You got Batman, you got Robin now. So I think the biggest part of this story, Max, is what they got total for Lermy Tunsil. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's just the trade that keeps on giving at this point. I mean, shout out to
so
Billy B.
I got the full graphic, Max, on
Okay.
how everything transpired. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lermy Tunsil deal, the Texans got Tunsil out of it, Kenny Stills, who's not on the team, Heck, and Wallow. I don't even know these
Skip.
motherfuckers, bro. They're still on the team, but the Dolphins, they got Noah. Can you say that for me? Because you're the best.
Iganabani.
Inganabani, Jalen Waddle, Javon Holland, Tyreek Hill, uh, Solomon Kinley, and Bademosi. I don't know. These two guys got cut though. Davenport and Bademosi or whatever are not on the team no more. So this is how it originally happened. Like,
well, there's some other picks they gave up for Hill, but that doesn't matter, right? That doesn't matter. The fourth, the fifth, the third round pick,
and they still got a third round pick from it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, guys. They got the talent. They have a lot of great pieces. They're 5-3 right now. One, it's a little underwhelming, but Tua got hurt for 2 games that they lost, and I mean he looks so much better than Teddy Bridgewater or Skylar Thompson. This Miami team, it's a good move for them. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Bradley Chubb fan in the world, but the way you frame it with, hey, if you got Phillips who you trust as your number one and Bradley Chubb is your 2, I like it. Like I said, I don't think it's Von Miller last year. I don't think it'll be that type of impact.
Yeah.
But I'm more shocked on the Denver side, one where you're selling the team. Is just have they punted on this year?
I don't think so. I think it's just a big indicator of what they think about Bradley Chubb, and it kind of gives me confidence on what I seen about
Okay,
Bradley
so
Chubb.
if Denver's willing to part with him for a first round pick, which is good compensation, but let's remember, guys, it's probably not going to be a top 10 pick. This is San Francisco's pick, and Frisco seems to be hitting on all cylinders since this last game with the Rams. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a late pick, right? But do you
I
really
could say it
trust
can
the
possibly be in the teens. I don't think
if
that's
they
out of the
I would bet
question.
it'd be later in the 20s. I would say Frisco's a good team. They're going to make the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. We move on. But what does it say that a team that's seen Bradley Chubb in the building for every game this year, even last year, guy who has injury concerns, you have to pay him. What does it say about Denver saying, you know what, we don't really want him anymore? And I know Denver's got Gregory, Brandon Browning, or Baron
Yeah.
Browning. What does it say? I'm kind of,
I
I think they may be sold
I
at the
I
right
think it
time for
says
sure.
I think they're selling high. I think they have a lot of confidence in some of the young guys that they have, including Randy Gregory, who I know is not a young guy, but is more than capable of taking on that
Looked
number
good
one
when
pass
healthy.
rusher.
Looked
I mean,
great.
a guy that you didn't mention, but Nick Bonito,
Nick
like
Bonito, yeah.
he's another young guy that like they obviously like, and Browning, another guy that they like. Like I don't think Bradley Chubb is going to be missed that much. I would have been more shocked if it was Jerry Judy, a guy that they really need and they need to win this year. I don't think they needed Bradley Chubb to win this year. They sold high. They sold out of their division. They didn't sell them to an AFC West team, who another team who traded on the deadline did that. So we'll get into that later. But if you're gonna sell them to an AFC team, make sure it's not in your division. So I like that. You're talking about the San Francisco. This is just the San Francisco picks alone. This is what they got from the Niners, Waddle, Hill, and Chubb.
Joey, where you at, bro? Let us know.
So I mean, they swindled fucking two teams. They swindled the fucking Texans and the Niners so far. I mean, look, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill have been fucking absolutely electric for the Dolphins. So it's a wait and see on Chubb. He's a great talent. I think he's gonna definitely help them win this year. I really like the move. If I had to grade it, I'll give it an A. And the only reason why I wouldn't give it an A plus is because he does have injury concerns.
So is it an A on the Dolphin side or A on the Broncos or A all around? I think it's kind of a
A all
win-win.
around.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
win-win. Sell high. Denver's kind of had a bad start to the year. I don't think they make this move on if they're 6-3. So
Yeah.
I think it's a win-win.
Chase Claypool, who is going from the Pittsburgh Steelers to the Chicago Bears. So from one mediocre quarterback to another.
Well, at least this quarterback's fun on the Bears. You know what I mean? The TikToks are dead. Sorry, everybody. One, can we lump this in with the Kadarius Toney? Because I think there's one team I want to talk about. So go ahead and hit what you want to do, and I'll tie it together.
Yeah, so Claypool went for a 2023 second round pick. I know people are saying like it's a home run for the Bears. Like, why not? You don't have any receivers, and it's a guy that can potentially earn a contract, and you can have a guy for long term if you wind up signing him. I'm not a big fan of Chase Claypool. I mean, that's just my
You
opinion,
did
but
get your wish, though, everyone out there.
yeah,
You've been calling for Claypool to be traded for Pickens so he can get all
yeah,
the shine.
yeah.
I think it's good for the Bears. One, it's not a home run because at the end of the day, second round pick, it's going to be a high second round pick no matter where it is because both these teams are bad. So that's what kind of scares me. If it was like a third or a fourth, it'd be like, awesome. That's just a see what happens. No problem.
Yeah.
But the value is going to be a little high for a guy like Chase Claypool, who looks kind of like a career underachiever. All the talent in the world, but never really puts it together.
Why wouldn't you just pick George Pickens in the second round?
I
That's
agree.
my thing.
100%
That's
agree.
my thing with the Bears. Hopefully he winds up succeeding. No, I mean he's a desperate weapon for the Bears, man. They need one bad.
Well, you talk about desperate. This is what I want to tie in. Green Bay Packers, how do you stand fucking pat? How do you not give up a second for Claypool? And I know they're like, they did give it up. Well, throw in a third, throw in a fourth, throw in anything. How about Kadarius Toney? You can't give up a third and a sixth for a first round pick just to see what happens? Really? I don't get it. I love that move by the Chiefs one because it's like, we're already pretty stacked. But what if we hit this guy and we just find a gadget guy who's really elite with the short area quickness and his moves? Why can't the Packers just throw out a 3rd and a 6 for Kadarius Toney? How does that hurt you?
I mean, I think they're just kind of content of what they're
Content
doing
of
right now.
what? They suck.
Of going, yeah, they're content with it. They know they're gonna suck. Why waste draft picks for a year that you think Kadarius Toney and Chase Claypool is gonna help them to the point where they're gonna be a Super Bowl contender?
No, I don't think that, but I think it'll
Then
help
don't make the move.
overall. Why not though? Why not?
You
What if
don't make
Chase
the move.
Claypool puts it all together and he's a fucking alpha? Why not? Why not?
I
That's what I'm
wouldn't
saying with
do
the
it.
Packers. They don't even try one. That's my big thing. They don't even try to just, let's just swing for the fences. Let's just go in there with Randall Cobb. Let's do it. He's 38 years old.
Yeah. And I think part of it too is like whether it's Rodgers saying, hey, trade for someone, and the GM doesn't do anything, the front office doesn't do anything, or Rodgers just the type of dude that doesn't do well with receivers who are just coming in and trying to learn the offense and get on the same page. I mean, a guy like Claypool, in my opinion, I wouldn't have done it if I was the Packers. That's just me. A guy like Kadarius Toney, I wouldn't have done it because he's a head case. He's a character guy, and if anyone can take that risk, it's gonna be the Chiefs. Andy Reid has a long resume of dealing with guys who have some character issues, so the Packers are gonna stay away. If I'm the Packers, I would like someone for like an Odell Beckham on the lower
Or how
scale,
about
or
Brandon Cooks, who didn't get traded shockingly? Why wouldn't you just give a first up for Brandon Cooks?
yeah. I don't know, man. I I I think they're content with what they did. They dig their own grave. They fucked up and they didn't get a guy like George Pickens or another receiver in the first round, and they wound up getting Watson, who I love Watson, but he kind of went in the worst situation. Like it's a place where you need to hit the ground running. There was no time for development, and Christian Watson is just not that guy where he was going to hit the ground running. He needed a lot of work.
Bad injury luck, too. Very bad
Yeah.
injury luck.
And staying in the NFC North, TJ Hawkinson, who
Shocked.
got traded. Look, I'm not shocked that he got traded. Honestly, I'm more shocked on who he got traded from and to. Like the Lions traded to a division rival.
That's the part that gets me. I'm like, are you guys fucking nuts? I don't get it. That's the part. Because girls who don't watch football, don't really familiar with the NFL. Trading is becoming much more regular. Trading in the division remains taboo, even for picks.
Yeah.
It's taboo to trade in your division.
Yeah. And he ended up going for a second rounder and a third rounder. The second is in 2023 and the third is in 24. And the Vikings get back Hawkinson, a fourth rounder in 23 and a conditional in 24. So I love the move for the Vikings.
I do
too. You still a guy from Detroit in your division. You make them weaker, and it's a position of need with the Vikings. They've been needing a tight end forever. Like Irv Smith is not the answer.
And he's hurt.
It's gonna take some time with Hawkinson to get acclimated. He's probably not gonna hit the ground running, but Hawkinson is just one of these guys where like the talent is there. You know that the talent is there, and you just need somebody to really show it. And I think this offense with Kevin O'Connell and Kirk Cousins, and he's not even the main guy. It's Justin Jefferson, and then after that, it's Thielen. Like I love this move for the Vikings. I think A+. Like they won this trade by far.
A+. Detroit, a little puzzling. They kind of sell Hawkinson to the Vikings. I think you've touched on that enough, and